Welcome to Yallourn North, one of the towns within Latrobe City, part of Eden of the East. The International Circulation Mark sticker YN, obvious reasons, Yallourn North, and the tagline Harmony Forged in Power, which links back to Yallourn North was actually the first town for the electricity industry to have a brown coal mine, and that dates back, some records indicate that dates back to the late 1890s when they first started planning this. And then on the 3rd of September 2017, the post office opened here in Yallourn North with the brown coal mine. It was also, when we have the tagline Forged in Power, it relates to the tranquility, the harmony that we have here now, as you can see, it's quite amazing, was not accidental. This was forged, this was created through the multi-generations of people, the workers that worked here to help create our power industry that gives us the life that we live today. And so that's Harmony Forged in Power. But I wanted to start here at the Yallourn North Primary School and share a few things from my history, because I grew up in Yallourn North, and I just wanted to share a few things about that. And one thing that we did, and this is part of the community that we have today, is about giving back and helping people. And we had an initiative when we were at school, was raising money, and it was through running. So the more distance we ran, the more money we raised. And I finished my schoolwork early and asked the teacher, could I come out here to the Oval and do some running? So I actually was jogging around the Oval, raising money, just doing laps and laps and laps to get more kilometers up. Another thing that we had at school that I remember fondly was we created kites. And I remember coming out here to, we all tried to fly them. It was a bit windier than it is today. There's not very much wind today, but we were flying those, and that was a lot of fun. And the third thing I wanted to share was, and you may not be able to see it on the camera, but there was these little dandelions, but this field at times would be flush with them, so it'd be almost yellow. And we had to be careful because as kids, we'd take our shoes off and go running around, but with dandelions comes bees, so we had to be careful not to step on them. And I do remember one time I did step on a bee and it hurt a lot. So this is the Yallourn North Oval and Primary School, part of the Yallourn North town, and I'm just going to take you through a few key things from the town and share a few of memories of mine growing up here and how this town is actually absolutely beautiful. This is the entrance to Yallourn North. The road comes in that way and the town's over there at the school. And here is a skate park. This wasn't here when I was a kid. It's been created and it's a pretty cool skate park. It was just a field when I was here. And then if we go through this way, so what we've got here is a BMX track or mountain bike track, whichever way you want to look at it. But it was, again, a field here. We did come and ride here. There was a little jump coming off the car park that we tried to go as far as we could. But this is a really, really peaceful spot here in Latrobe City in Yallourn North. Just so tranquil and quiet. A great spot to just come out with family and relax and enjoy the beauty that we've got here. And then if we come through here to the other side, I want to show you something that was really cool. We'll just sneak through here. So while this may appear just like a car park, and it is, for me it has a particular significance because I used to race radio controlled cars as a kid when I was little and race at the off-road track in Newborough. And a lot of people had on-road cars but nowhere to race. And this was the old netball courts, but it wasn't being used anymore for netball courts because new ones had been built over there. And so I've found out that it was actually owned or controlled by the fire brigade. And as a little kid, I've gone and knocked on the fire brigade chief's door. He lived up the road in Yallourn North, and asked him, I said, look, can we use this area to create a radio controlled car track? And he said yes, which was really cool. So I told the committee of the Radio Controlled Car Club, and then they organised it with the fire brigade, and we created this on-road radio controlled car track here, which you can still see. The lines for the car track are still here. So for me, this is really cool. Just a little bit of my history that I got to do, and I would encourage people too, if you want something, just ask, because that's all I did. I went and found out who did it. I knocked on the door and said, can we use this track, this space to create a track? And I got a yes. If I spin around this way, This used to be the hall. We'd have community events here, and we'd have dances and all kind of stuff as kids. It was really cool. And now today, it's the Yallourn North Yallourn North and District Historical Society and the Brown Coal Museum. So you've got, it's very, very beautiful here. And I'll do another video about this separately, but there's something to check out. And you've got the Dredger's cabin here and all inside that, and we'll share more details about this museum in a separate video. But this was a really cool memory for me, because we had community youth groups here get together and just do kid stuff, and then we'd have dances here as well, which was a lot of fun. Very exciting here in Yallourn North. This is Yallourn North Primary School, but what I'm really excited about, I didn't realize this, a lot has changed. This is very, very different from when I was here as a kid. But what is still here, if I swing around this way, is the shelter shed. This shelter shed was here when I was a kid. Now, it didn't have glass doors or anything like that, but it's still got all the panels inside. That's really cool. This is still here from when I was a kid. Pretty much nothing else is. It's all very, very different. As kids, we'd sneak out the back here to the back of the shelter shed, thinking that we were being really cool and sneaking around and smooching too. But anyway, we did that as kids. But come through here, this fence wasn't here. This all out through here, this was just one big field. It was just flat, it was green. This wasn't here. And then if we come this way, you have the pool over here. And I remember first what they did was they created the pool. So we had, first there was they had the construction happening, and I remember when this opened, and it was really cool, and you had the pool opening, and it was a cool place to hang out. And then after the pool was built, we still had a lot of green out here, a lot of grass. And then they built this, and it wasn't this AstroTurf it is now, it was actually asphalt. And we would play British Bulldog and other games like that, which I think are banned now. And we would play that out here and get a few scrapes on our knees and stuff like that. This is another cool place from my childhood. When I was a kid, I used to come here with my dad, and we would play lawn bowls. But what was really good about it was I wasn't just hanging around with my dad, I was hanging around with a lot of older guys. And it was something that's probably missing a little bit today for young men is having that older mentor. And it had really, really, really cool guys around, just giving you that mentorship on life and things like that. And it was really great. So Yallourn North Bowling Club, fantastic place to hang out, as you can see, on a beautiful day like today. They've even got some young kids here playing as well. That was a special memory for me here in Yallourn North. This was a really cool spot in Yallourn North when I was growing up. There used to be a news agency here, and I used to do a paper round, so we'd get here early in the morning, and there was a phone box here, and we used to have fun in the morning. The papers would be here. We'd get here before the owner would get here, and we'd do all different things, like we'd hide the papers somewhere, and we'd stack them all on top of the phone box and stuff like that, which was, you know, kind of silly now when I think about it, but it was fun as kids then, back in the day. And then across here, we've got the hall, which used to be, we had other dancers and that here in the hall as well. I remember the blue light disco used to be there. That was really cool. And then through here, so in the morning, we would wait here for the bus, because when we went to secondary school, I went to Yallourn Tech, and you know, the people went to Newborough High and Moe High as well. The bus would come here and pick us up. And this is where the legend of 20 Cent was born. That's another story for people to research. But we would wait here. We'd all walk down here. It was just a congregation spot. Everyone would come down here and meet to catch the bus here, even though the bus drove around the town. We'd all come down and meet here. From where the news agency was, you got these shops here, but then we come through this way, and we've got this park here, and it's really nice. This wasn't here when I was a kid. This park wasn't here. But we've got this area here where it actually has a map of the town, and it shows all the different locations that you can see. And it's actually got a map over here, gives you a bit of a tourist area. So this is probably a good place to have on an information map, where you can go and see what Yallourn North has to offer and share that around, because the map is just there. And then we've got this park out here for kids to play with. There's barbecue area here, seats, kids play area. So it's all here for people to come and just chill out and have a picnic, which in this harmonious environment, it's really, really beautiful. And then through there is the Yallourn North Bowling Club as well. The tennis courts in Yallourn North were another area I used to hang out, used to have some tennis lessons, and got this nice seat over here. Now they've got the table tennis down here at the old tennis courts. That table tennis wasn't here when I was growing up. And then you come through here, nice little park here. If we come through this way, this is the tennis court. There was actually a little hut here as well, but we used to play tennis in Yallourn North, which was really cool. It's part of the tennis club. I wasn't very good at tennis. Being of Polish Ukrainian descent, this is a place that I had to frequent quite regularly. This was the Catholic Church. Both my grandmothers were Catholic, hence Sundays we were at church. But also too, in Yallourn North, if you're a traveller coming here, we've got the food works here, which is, so if you need to stock up and get supplies or anything like that for a barbecue or for lunch or anything like that, Food Works is right here in the centre of town. But just have a look at this. Look at this view. How insane is that? It's just, and you can see this is why we call this harmony forged in power. How absolutely peaceful and beautiful is this area? Just really, really stunning. Up the hill a little bit from the Food Works on North Road, and this here wasn't a houses when I was growing up. It was just a little bit of a paddock. But what I really wanted to show you was around this way, and this is the Rossmore Hotel, which it was a hotel frequented by my grandfather, my father. My mum used to work in the kitchen here, and I remember as a kid, we used to come here for counter meals all the time, or dinner at the hotel here, which was I remember I used to have my favorite was ham steak and pineapple, which probably explains my love of ham and pineapple pizza. But I remember we had the old jukebox there. Well, they had an old jukebox, and the floor wasn't too stable. And there was some kids having some dinner. Well, they were older kids because they didn't have a parent with them. So they're probably teenagers or early 20s. And we were sitting near them, but they were jumping up and down and making the jukebox skip. And I remember getting really, really upset because I was going, oh, they're damaging the records, they're damaging the records. This isn't a tourist destination. It's just a sentimental place for me because this is the street I grew up on. And I remember reading in a magazine, they said your adult movie name is the name of your first pet and the street you grew up on. And my first pet's name was Snuggles. It was a cat. And this is Bailey Street. So my adult movie name is Snuggles Bailey, apparently. But what I most remember here is this is a split street. And I remember as a kid, I'd be riding along and wanted to ride from the top to the bottom. So I would start down there. When I first did it, I started down there, and this was a big feat at the time. So I'd go ride down, then I'd go a little bit further and ride down and just get to places where it's steeper and steeper. And I eventually got to what is probably the apex of the steepness. And as a kid, I could actually get on my bike and ride down this area here. So I'd be up on the top road, jump the gutter, and then ride down and come down here. So that was a kind of exciting thing for me, a bit of a flashback there. There is the entrance to Yallourn North. You can see the sign here, the start of Yallourn North. But what I wanted to show you was this tower up here. This used to be the water tower. There was a tank on top of there. And we used to climb up that as a kid and just hang out there at night and just check out the views. An awesome view from up there. It's really, really spectacular. That would actually make a really, really cool lookout here in Yallourn North. But we got to do that as a kid. We weren't allowed to do it, but we did. We climbed up there and enjoyed the view. This is one of the old SEC roads that goes down to the Lake Narrabeen and Camp Woorabinda. But I wanted to show you here, this is George Bates Reserve. And this was created when the town of Yallourn was decommissioned, will be the word I would use. And the Yallourn Oval was then transferred here and became the George Bates Reserve, which now also has netball courts. We'll go down and have a look. This is the middle of the George Bates Reserve, and what I remember most from here was we used to have Christmas parties, and that was, as a kid, back in the day when they had the Coke that was really fizzy. So we'd get the Coke bottles, put a hole in the top, shake it up and squirt each other and have these fights with these Coke bottles, which was really cool, spraying each other with Coca-Cola. This is not everything in Yallourn North, but it gives you some indication of what this wonderful town has. Yallourn North YN on the International Circulation Mark, Eden of the East stickers. And you can really see why this town is harmony forged in power. Look at these amazing trees, how peaceful it is. It's just an amazing place, and there's so much more here to explore, and we'll do some other videos going through more of what Yallourn North has to offer. You come down, enjoy. It's got so many wonderful things here to enjoy, to get back to nature, to relax, to have a peaceful and enjoyable life. Yallourn North, harmony forged in power.